the ones for me.
Hey,
Hi. Good evening, everyone. Good
good
evening, Lance.
evening.
Good evening, Nico.
Aloha.
So if Lance has his wands, I have on my Ravenclaw shirt, so that's the closest I
Yes.
have to something magical in my in my wardrobe. So
Yeah.
good evening. So it's a Wednesday night. So hope you guys are having a good hump day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry I didn't see you guys for episode 2. I was indisposed though. Pero now I'm here. So we are going to be talking about episode 3 of Cheat This series. So hi to everyone in the chat. If you're joining us for the first time, we are Brouhaha B Squad. My name is Mikey. Here is Lance, and there is Nico. And of course, we talk about all things BL and all matters related to LGBTQIA. And if you're joining us again, thank you very much for being here. And yes, I see you, Sir Will. Represent Ravenclaw. Thank you,
Yes,
thank you, thank
Ravenclaw
you.
too.
So, hello, Darwin.
Hi,
Hello,
Darwin.
everyone. Hi,
Hi,
Al.
Al.
So it must be late for Al and Poppy as well. Hi.
Hi, Popoy. Yeah, they're clamoring on something. They want Popoy to come up.
Oh, really? Well, I'm okay with that. If you go ahead and want to join us, Popoy, that's okay. You can get some coffee for your sleepy soul, or maybe something else. And who else do we have here? I see people from the Tahanan. So good evening, everyone. Thank you, as usual, for supporting. And you can also put in your comments, suggestions, thoughts on episode 3 in the chat. So I know that we are delayed, though. Just to explain, if you weren't here yesterday, we had to do some schedule changes because the Boy Foretold by the Stars, which was originally for Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
was rescheduled for yesterday due to some obligations. So sorry for that, but we had a lot of fun talking to them. We're really happy that we finally got to talk to Adrian and Kian. And if you were here, I'm sure that you guys enjoyed that. And we're excited and shook for the improv. So if you haven't seen that yet, go ahead and check it out. It's on our YouTube channel. And please support The Boy Foretold by the Stars. It's going to be showing December 25 on upstream.ph. You can go ahead and get your tickets. It's on social media. Go ahead and check that out. But tonight, again, it is about Cheat the Series. So we have a lot of thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So who would like to start? Oh, hi. I see some Gryffindors, by the way, and
Yeah, there's some
Slytherins in the
Slytherins.
house.
There's no Hufflepuff for some
Any
reason.
Hufflepuff? Is there any Hufflepuff? I know that we have a Hufflepuff.
I know
Ang
we
hirap
had
naman
one.
sabihin.
I think that was
Hufflepuff.
Noel. From random stuff, I think it was Noel who was the Hufflepuff.
Really? Okay. Hey, Mikoy Koy.
Hey,
Uh,
Makoy.
have a good night. Rest well. Thank you for dropping by. And right. So, you guys want to get started?
Nire-request talaga nila, papasok to si Popoy.
Hey, I'm good with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good
So,
with that.
can somebody send me the link?
I already did.
Or-
So let's
You
see.
did? Okay.
I already
Okay,
did.
so guys, make sure that you encourage Popeye to come up, and we also wanna
Mhm.
see him.
Sure.
He's never turned on his camera actually from the times that I.
Talaga?
He
Oo
did.
nga.
For
Yeah.
some
In the-
sessions, he did.
Well, okay, yeah. So he did, but I wasn't there in those sessions when he did. So, anyways, there. So hopefully he comes up. I mean,
Mhm.
there'll be another perspective that we can add to the
Yes.
panel. Yun. Darwin, if you want to be sorted, you can go. I forgot the name of the website, but you can go ahead and search for Wizarding World, and you can also maybe use the search word sorting hat, and then I'm sure it'll come up. So you can go ahead and take that. You just have to register, but it's not a problem. All you need is an email address and a password,
Right.
and
Yep.
then you can go ahead and do that. Yun. support. Okay. I'm still processing, guys.
Yeah, I think we all are. Kasi I think VR Relosa pretty much gave us the biggest clue, and we saw that clue appear in this episode. If you remember, it was one peach and three eggplants.
Yes.
Yes.
And I was honestly waiting for the other clue that he would give for episode 4, but he hasn't released one yet. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering now, especially that we get leaks from
From VR.
VR and from Alora too, wherein she's saying that episode 4 was her the most was the weirdest episode or parang the heaviest episode, I think, or maybe the weirdest.
Right.
Okay.
And
What-
she's about it.
I'm sure. Yes, next. Nico?
Nico.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
we
you
can.
can. So
How
Nico
about
is a bit
now?
delayed.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
can.
we can, but I don't think you can hear us. Anyways, I think he's having technical issues right now. There's a spell
Yeah.
cast on him. A silencer? A silencing spell? So,
May ganun ba? I'm not sure. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I know there is one where
Silencio. Ganun eh.
you incapacitate them, so basically they don't do anything. But
Yeah,
I forgot
there is. It's called
Because-
Silencio.
Alright,
It's
okay.
performed to meet your enemy, and I think they used it. I think Hermione used it with her
Okay.
parents.
Well, I know that you can immobilize someone by using Petrificus Totalis and
Yeah.
Immobilus as well. But apart from that, I don't know any other spell. Okay, so Lance, what can you say about episode 3?
Yeah, before that, VR. Hey, welcome to the chats.
Oh, hey VR. Good evening. Ito na si VR.
Oo nga eh. Di bali-
You can say don't mind me when you're part of the cast. I mean, that's
And-
impossible to
yeah.
not mind you.
And you're part of this episode now. You were fully there. So
Yes.
how can we not
Correct.
mind you? Especially that you were you had the biggest role in this episode.
Yeah, I would have to say
Yeah.
so. I agree. So what do you
Kumbaga,
think?
He was a trigger point of what would happen or what would happen next. So that's how much of a big role he has. Parang I like this episode in a way that there was a plot going on. I mean, it escalated from if you were talking about numbers a while ago, last episode, I think, and if that was a 3 or a 4 or a 5, this went to a 7. So I was happy
Really?
plot-wise that it jumped somehow for me. I mean, it jumped in a way that it's not flat anymore. I could
Mhm.
feel that there's something gonna happen soon. But it left me confused for a while, and I think I had to talk to Mam Yao and my partner regarding the first scene of that episode. Because I wasn't really sure if it was all happening during a trance. Was it an illusion? Was it him
Okay.
imagining something? Or according to Mam Yao, it was the spell and acting or imposing Jennifer's figure into Dong. But we saw the following episode, it's the following scenes wherein the mother was saying that maybe the love is stronger. That's why it's not
Right.
really working. And I like that somehow I like that there was a cautionary part in that when it comes to spells. Because every spell has a price, every magic has a price, or everything you do or give to the universe would come back at you or come back to you for some reason.
Yeah. I'm still ambivalent about that scene though. But I mean, I don't really I don't know what happened. Like
Yeah.
there were clips wherein it would be Migo or Dong. Okay.
Dong, yeah.
It would be Dong and then it would be Jennifer, right? But they're never in the clip at the same time. But then the last part of that segment was that they were lying down with V in the middle and then Dong here and then Jennifer here. So I'm thinking that they did. All three of them did. But maybe the magic was that Dong and V didn't know that Jennifer was there. But
Maybe like
Jennifer knew that she was there. But in their heads, I think
it was
V
the two of
and
them.
it was just them, right? But then again, that was just that segment, right?
Yep.
Because in the morning, obviously something happened between the two guys, diba? Because in the morning, they were together, they slept together, and then they sort of like kissed, and it was sort of like it gave me that impression of that after morning, the next morning glow or the next morning intimacy, right? Because you spent a night together, then parang you're still on that high. So you kiss each other, etc. They're very playful, whatever, right? But then when they went to the field, um, V said that last night was very was different, right? That it was
Yep.
phenomenal or something like that. And then Dom said something very strange. He was like, "We just slept together." So that got me thinking. Did he mean sleep together as in they just physically lay beside each other, or did they sleep, have sex together? Right? Because somebody put it in my head in Twitter that parang it was all their imagination. And then Dong said something of the same. That Dong said that yeah, it's just your imagination, right? But then he could also mean that it was phenomenal because you're thinking it's phenomenal, but it wasn't really phenomenal, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
because people are talking about it, but okay, so now I'm getting ideas in my head, and but what I originally thought was that they did in fact have a threesome, and I guess I'm gonna go ahead and stick with that, right? So I don't know what's gonna happen in the next episodes, whether they're gonna reveal that it was the three of them, or if it was just the two guys, or if it was just Jennifer and V. But I tried sort of like fishing, and Hugh TV just said that okay, you need to watch for the next episodes because it's all going to be revealed. Even Laura said, "I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm not going to say anything, so it will all be revealed in due time." And I was like, oh, "Okay, see."
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's some sort of a secret there. So I'm thinking that it's not going to be the obvious answer. So there might be probably more to it, but we'll go ahead and see. Okay,
Yeah.
but the thing with the car, and the two of them being and all that,
That
definitely that's
part.
real, diba? Because it was in the
Yeah.
morning, and they
Yep.
were being recorded by Jay, so definitely that part is real. That they were having sex on top of the car,
Mm-hmm.
so it was recorded and all of that. Um, I would say that there was again bitin siya for me, just like episode
Why?
2 was bitin for me, because parang I don't know. But I expected more plot development, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
because in my head, I kind of had an idea that Jay was into V because I already saw that in the trailer, in the excerpts, in other
Yeah.
clips that they've already posted. So
Yeah. But
that wasn't new for me. So I guess I was looking for something new. So that's why I said it was bitten. But I
yeah,
mean,
I get
I
it.
guess in
Yeah.
terms of the completion of that part of the story, I guess it was okay. But yun, parang I was hoping that there was, I guess, a little bit more. Because I'm thinking this is already the third episode, and they're halfway through. But then again, parang there's nothing with the sister yet, diba?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Parang
mean,
I'm still,
I I
yeah.
don't understand where you're coming from. Na.
Mhm.
Speaking of the sister, hi Laura.
Hi, Laura. Hey. The
Yeah.
very secretive and mysterious Alora.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
And I
Miss
would.
Universe Philippines.
Oh yes, coming through, please. Or Darna.
Manifest, manifest. Right. Yeah, you were saying.
yeah, I think I get what you're saying. Now I just wanted more from Alora's part, or more
Mm-hmm.
plot, wherein she's more involved with what's happening. Maybe. So
Mm-hmm.
kumbaga, her story. You have four different storylines going on. You have V's, you have Jace, you have Alora's, and you have Donks.
Right,
Al-
actually.
Alora started from the top, going, and I think she's going to plateau, and the rest are all going up. Or Jace has
Mm,
started now. So I'm waiting
okay.
for when the explosion will come for all four of them. Maybe
Yeah.
it'll happen on episode 4, maybe. So remember you said it's going to be 6 episodes only? Is that correct?
It is gonna be 6 episodes.
So so the next should be the climax then. Ooh.
And then after that, it's gonna go down, right? But
Yeah.
I'm thinking that probably the fifth episode is gonna be sort of like the turning point
Yeah, it could be.
because um, I mean VR said that, but it's gonna keep building. It's gonna keep
Yep.
building, diba?
Until
So
we hit 13.
I know. And who knows? Maybe they just might surprise us, and then they might, add an additional episode, or I don't know.
Yep. It happened for the series though. We thought they were gonna end
It
at
happened for
episode
other
8,
series. Exactly.
but we
So
got to 13.
yeah,
So
yeah,
let's
yeah,
see.
yeah. We will see. We will see. But you are correct. No, parang there was a lot of things that happened, and I mean, each of the characters, apart from Alan, had something to do in this particular episode, diba? And we see the mother again. And I
Yeah.
like the conversation that she had
Me
with
too.
Nora, diba? Like
Me
you mentioned
too.
earlier. Now we also get a backstory regarding the dad. So apparently, and this is my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, but from my understanding, mother used the same spell on dad, and then
Mhm.
dad was not affected by the spell because his love for the mistress was stronger. So that's what I got. Right? So that was the mistake that she said she made. That she used that magic and it didn't work out, or maybe probably it backfired because the love, which was natural magic, was much stronger than the magic or the spell that she used. Diba? So there was something foreboding about that as well too, because she said that, well, I got the impression that the only way that the love will end is if the recipient ends. So if the mistress dies, then the dad would, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the impression I got. That if the mistress dies, then the dad would come back to loving her. And that made me go back to episode 1, wherein she did a spell. And so far, we haven't seen the effect of that spell, right?
Or we've seen the effect, but it's not in its full form yet because the love is still
Mhm.
stronger.
Probably.
Yeah, and because I mean, I think if you've watched every form of series, movie with or lore with magic involved,
Mhm.
they usually avoid love
Uh-huh.
because we know that love is a strong force and love has a stronger comeback if ever. Like anything that has to do with love spells, usually parang they have a bad aftertaste siguro. Like
Mhm.
I'll reference one in the Disney series, like yung sa Descendants. Like
Mhm.
Mal tried to put on a love spell to what's the name, the son of the beast and the beauty again. Basta yung mahal
Okay.
niya doon,
Mhm.
and it backfired on her kasi she realized that how would she know if the guy really loves him if he's under a spell?
Okay. Right. Exactly. Which is why I don't like love spells, because it's like you are forcing someone to love you, and that's not love. That's basically
Yeah.
manipulation, diba? And it's a concoction. It's not real, basically. But you're tama, di ba? Parang love is stronger than magic, and we've seen that in Harry Potter as well, di ba? Where
Yes.
Voldemort tried to kill Harry Potter, but because of the mom's love, he was basically spared, and he basically sort of like developed this sort of resistance, or a sort of like protection, or the life force of Voldemort was transferred to Harry Potter. So yun nga parang love sort of skews, or in fact prevents some spells, if
Yeah.
you can call it
Yeah,
that. Diba?
yeah. It's like also with the genie and Aladdin, wherein he would refuse to use any wish for love because that's one thing they won't want to tamper on. So,
Diba? Exactly.
diba?
Okay, so that makes me also wonder, kasi parang if love is what deterred or sort of like skewed the magic, I don't see how V and Dong are in love, because their previous interactions, at least for the first episode, was just very cordial, diba? And the only time that they really interacted was when they had sex. And for me, that's actually not enough basis for love to happen. Um,
Yeah, exactly.
or, diba, parang, it wasn't established in the way that I would understand it. Because
Mm.
for me, parang love is developed over time, and you can't fall in love with just having sex with someone. So, I mean, you might be infatuated, but infatuation and love are two completely different things.
Yes,
Diba?
yes, yes.
So, I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions, and I haven't really, I haven't really wrapped my head around it because there are so many things that are happening, and um, in a way, um, it's becoming very sexual for me because
Yeah,
there were three scenes wherein there was sex involved. There was a threesome, there was a uh, Dong and V, and then JR. I mean J and V as well. So I'm now getting sort of like the impression that because my previous theory was that the Gayuma sort of like backfired, and it's
yeah.
sort of like instead of latching on to just Dong, it also latched on to J because
Or
um,
or it could have
parang,
backfired then na
mhm,
it's latching on V. So anyone he sees, he'd fall in love.
mhm. Sorry, say again.
The Gayuma latched on V naman. Na anyone
Okay.
he sees, he'll fall in love with automatically.
Oh, that's
So that's the
true.
backfire. Kasi he's giving in for every person that came there. Like from Dong to
Mhm.
Jay. So it could be that too. So, kanina ko pa iniisip yun. I was thinking about it parang, where do we go from here?
Okay. Siguro what I'm doing is na parang, di ba, alam mo naman ako, I mean, I'm a Virgo, so I really overthink
Mm-hmm.
things. And yes,
Yeah.
Alora is correct. Parang it adds to the experience, di ba? The anticipation, the excitement,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
confusion also adds to the experience.
The
Um,
confusionism.
Correct. So I think moving forward na lang talaga, parang I'm just gonna go along for the ride, but I can't help it if I come to specific or to certain assumptions, di ba? Kasi yun naman talaga, eh.
Yes.
Parang your human brain, you may try to mute your brain from thinking, but it will do what it does. So, but siguro I'm just gonna go ahead and see what happens and then just take it as it is, di ba?
Yeah.
Now, um, in terms of sige yung magic na naman ano. So, I'm a bit also worried kasi the mom said that there are other things that you can do to ensnare the person that you love. And then she turns to this page on the book which says how to basically parang about childbirth. So parang
Yeah.
it gave me the impression na parang so magpapabuntis si Alora para lang ma-ensnare or to sort of like
Oh.
tie herself to the man that she loves. And I'm like, okay, so that's another trap because if you get pregnant, with someone else's child, it doesn't necessarily follow that that person will fall in love with you. It doesn't necessarily follow that they will stay with you, diba? So parang that's a very huge risk, which involves another human being, which is basically the child, diba? So, but parang mother is okay with it except for the timing because she said no, hindi, bata ka pa.
Yeah.
So if she was older, he'd be okay with it. So I'm kind of worried, like para, mom, what are you trying to teach your child? And again, I go back to episode one, wherein I said it in episode one, like mom knows magic, but she may not necessarily have the best discerning alam mo yan or her intentions are basically maybe misguided
Yeah.
or not in the right place or alam mo yon parang kasi
Yeah.
parang it's all about me, what I want this man so I'm gonna get pregnant, I want this man so I'm gonna cast a spell, alam mo yon parang yun. So it's a very very slippery and very dangerous slope. Pero yun nga parang nagkakaroon ako ng disconnect doon Kasi she warns her daughter about the dangers of their magic, and yet she appears to be the one to do it without thought or without proper consideration of the consequences. So I'm a bit
Yeah.
confused by her character, you know? Um, so I hope that Jennifer doesn't fall into another trap because she's already fallen in this particular trap, diba? She's done a spell that she may not be fully cognizant of in terms of what the effects are. And she's very young, I mean, she may be powerful, she may have the potential, but she may not necessarily have the strength of character or maybe again the correct intention. So I'm a bit worried to see what happens.
Yes. And I'm worried about the consequences of the childbirth spell. Because if we're going to another magical lore, Sabrina, she was, I think that same thing or similar was used on her. Or parang ganon. Parang
Uh-huh.
she gave birth, pero they had to have a divine intercession with that. And it's somewhat
Uh-huh.
similar, trying to cheat birth,
Mhm.
kumbaga. And the after effect was Sabrina turned to be the daughter of Lucifer.
Mhm.
So I'm not
Mhm.
sure where in which moment in time did Mother use that spell. Was it
Mhm.
on Dong or was it on Jennifer? Because it's possible na she was in love with the husband, or they were in love with the husband during Dong's when Dong was brought out in the world, and maybe she's a spell when it was Jennifer's time. I don't know. I'm just overthinking stuff.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me
But
now?
Yes, can you hear
yes,
us?
Perfect. Okay, cool. Yes, I can hear. Can I just say what I want to say? Siguro,
go.
in terms of plot line, I just like how unconventional dire-diretso daw ako,
Mhm.
no? How
Mhm.
unconventional the series is, and that's what I like about the series. Because
Mhm.
like I shared this with Lance before we went live, no? I felt like the usual trope or plot that we see in BLs would be like you have a boyfriend. I mean, there's a boyfriend. There's a guy with a girlfriend, and then here's another guy who develops some sort of like feelings for this guy, diba? Like, sige, classic example would be Pete and Cow, Dark Blue Kiss,
Mhm.
diba? Parang yun yung parang usual
Mhm.
plot that we see on screen, right? And then we oftentimes see toxicity sa babae or sa girlfriend, right? And normally, like in a BL, like a typical ideal siguro na, hindi naman ideal, typical plot would be like the girlfriend would be dissuaded from pursuing the guy, diba?
Mhm.
What happens is
Mhm.
they break up and then magiging sila na nung guy, and then the girlfriend would be thrown to some other guy, and should be happier with that other guy. Parang ganon, di ba? Usually ganon ang plot, di ba? But here it's
Mm-hmm.
different, right? So you see V in the middle, and then you have the siblings surrounding him. And it's not your usual plot. It's very unconventional, right? And I like the plot siguro. So if you
Mhm.
take out magic in the whole in the grand scheme of the plot, I think it's interesting to me, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So parang hinihimay-himay ko lang talaga si Cheat the series as like, well, as of the moment, like we've seen like 3 episodes pa lang naman, no, we haven't seen like the entire series. So
Right.
ako, that's brave enough to really present something unconventional. You don't often see that in BLs, especially in Pinoy BLs, di ba?
Mhm.
Add to that magic. Kaya nga, 'di ba, ang dami niyang layers eh. It's very multi-layered, multifaceted yung Sheet the series, because we can discuss a lot of things, right? We can talk about the very practical, usual plot line, but here we see a different kind of plot line, right? Parang V is shared by the siblings, and it's kind of weird, right? We can't even say it's polyamory, or we can't even say it's open
Mhm.
relationship. It's a different kind of relationship, right? But ang
Right.
question,
Mhm.
but ang question ko siguro is, do we often see that in real life situations, right? Meron bang ganong
Yes.
eksena, right? But
Yes, there is. Pero tsaka it's also, ang nakatawa lang ako kasi if you look into our TV history, that's a similar plot in almost every telenovela that we have. It just
Right.
happened that the characters now are BL because it's usually a guy with three sisters or a guy yung ganung plot. So this one has two brothers and a sister. So I like
Right.
that like diversity into that. I like that they twisted an old teleserye or an old biblical plot in a way. Because if you go Bible, you'd have to in the olden times in order to marry. Let's say you like the youngest, you'd have to go through and marry the other three,
Right.
the ones before her, kumbaga.
Right, but
So
is it something that the audience would want to see oftentimes? Is it something parang do we often or regularly see these plots like every single time? And ito pa, add to that yung pagiging explicit eh. Like you have telenovelas,
yes, ito pa
sure,
yan.
why not? Like shared
Mm.
by the siblings. But do we see like sexual or sensual scenes all the time?
No.
Diba? So kaya nga, yun yung sinasabi ko na parang the plot is very brave, right? For the series to really present that. Add to that
Mhm.
magic. And magic become parang kumbaga ito yung sinasabi ni Ricky Lino whenever writers write no like plot lines add an
Mhm.
interesting element to it parang don't just talk about what is usual add an
Right.
interesting unusual element to it that's not usually seen on screen ang interesting ng mix eh parang you see a
Yeah.
very unconventional plot and then you see here an element that adds complication or complexity to the entire plot of the series. So that's what I like about Cheat the series yun.
Mhm.
Siguro for me siguro parang I've liked Cheat the series since the first episode. Siguro for the third episode, I was okay but not that crazy. Sure, there were sensual scenes that we
Mhm.
find forward and
Mhm.
edgy ba for the lack of term. It's not like your usual pa-sweet, pa-tweetums, pa-pam-pam scene, right? And
Can I just
Yeah.
sure,
say the
yeah,
way they were going for each other, it was
yeah.
so triggering.
Oo.
You can even hear the
Yes.
smack, the
It is.
sound of the
It is.
smack.
Pero
And then like,
what I
and
appreciate naman with that, it's done in a very
It was very
tasteful
natural.
and artsy way, not so much borderline the other side of the spectrum wherein it could go roller coaster and go orange and red and
right. So yun lang akin. Parang I like Cheat the series because yeah, I think it's right that we've seen these plots before, but it's kind of repackaged in a way that um nag-iba yung flavor niya eh. Parang it's totally different now. Parang sabi
Mm-mm.
ni Popoy, I like what Lance said, no, plot has been used in other teleseries before, but POV naman daw natin. Kaya nga, it's kind of different. Eh. Parang
Mhm.
it's not people would be taken aback siguro of the plot, I guess. But
Mhm.
tayo parang we appreciate it because it can actually happen. But we don't often see this. So in
Very
teleseries,
true.
like in heteronormative like setting, you see that
Mhm.
sure. But for us, yeah, hindi talaga natin nakita. And with that, siguro ipasok na natin si Popoy sa room kasi nandun yung backstage talaga. Oy,
Hey!
sige.
Hey!
Yan na si Popoy.
Hello.
Ayan na si Papoy.
Oh, there he is!
There
Hi!
you
Ang
go.
supportive ng tahanan sa'yo.
Hi.
Hi!
Oo nga, nakakahiya. Pero sabi ko nga, minsan lang to.
Thank you.
Na-invite ng
Thank
Bruaha
you.
Squad. So, thank you for inviting me.
Oy,
Thank you sa
wait,
tahanan
no
for
problem.
making kulit.
Yes. Oy, wait lang.
Yes.
As introduction, ipe-play ko lang tong OST ni Daryl Rodriguez, cover niya ng Hindi na. As
Oh,
Oh my
Ooh.
God.
Right tayo. Sana
Parang-
hindi tayo mag-right.
introduction natin kay Popoy. Wait lang ha. Ano ba to? O, di ba nag-play yung ads? Gusto nyo yun?
Oo naman. Libre lang tayo eh. Bakit ba?
Wait. It's different. Ito na.
Mm.
Can you hear it? Umeksena talaga ako ng ganito, di ba?
Oo nga eh.
It's a nice song actually.
Dati
Ay,
natin siya pinakanta
ang
nun.
dramatic.
Di ba?
Why did we let him sing before?
I'm sorry, it didn't come up in my research.
Dapat pagpasok ni Popoy, dapatin yung music sana natin, di ba? Char.
I know. Yes, that would have been better timing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, di ba?
Ang
Ayan, so if you wanna
dramatic
listen
naman
to
ng
this song,
paano.
yes! Pa-intro
Minsan na.
namin sa'yo, Popoy, sa BBS. Ayan. There you go. Na-stop ko na yung music. If you wanna listen to it, go to YouTube. It's entitled Hindi Na. Chika Series
Right.
OST by Darren Rodriguez. There you go. Welcome, Popoy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Mikey, Lance, and Nico. Thank you,
No
thank you.
Yes.
Literally, I'm
Ayan.
shaking. Promise, I'm shaking.
Bakit?
Nakakakaba kaya kayong makasama sa live.
Hindi. Sobra to.
Totoo.
Grabe siya. Kami lang
Of course,
to.
you're the squad. You're the squad. Kaya nakakakaba. I'm shaking. I'm literally shaking.
Oy,
Oh
grabe
my
siya.
God, grabe naman to.
Grabe,
Relax
parang,
ka lang. Parang
Oo,
nasa tahanan lang tayo. Nag-uusap lang tayo.
Yes.
oo.
Yeah.
Parang sige mo na lang, somewhat random sesh naman to, tumatawid naman sila minsan.
True.
So,
Oo nga. Sabi ko, akyat ba ako? Hindi. Pero sabi ko nga, you have invited already Tito Craig and Tito Mare. So sabi ko, sige nga, try ko nga. Ma-feel ko lang kung anong feeling ng lumalabas sa YouTube.
Same lang as any other.
Same lang.
Same lang as any other live.
Yes.
It's nerve-wracking, to be honest.
Oy.
Ay.
And talaga, and I don't, parang am I worthy to be in the presence of these three?
Ay,
Oo
naku,
Yun
naman!
ang feeling ko ngayon.
Ay, naku.
Ay,
Wait,
naku.
Yan ang
seryoso?
feeling now.
Grabe siya. Oy, pero I wanna say this. Sabi ko naman parang, di ba, we are in one community eh. So, we
Right.
have the Random
Yeah.
Sesh, we have BBS, we have Bros. I mean, we have a lot, like Ginger Becks. I mean, we are in just one community. So, I
Our
guess
hours.
walang
True.
difference. Kaya ours also. So, welcome. This is our community. Iba-iba lang tayo ng mga
Right.
pag-go
Thank you,
natin.
thank you for having me talaga. Thank you sa mga nagsabi sa chat room na umakyat ako. Kung sino man yun.
Na-pressure ka pa.
Maraming salamat.
Na-pressure ako.
Yes.
Joy.
And we love
Joy.
the Beyonce hair effect. Yung medyo may
Yes!
Yes.
So,
may
pag-work
pa-breeze
effect
tayo
mo.
dyan.
Yes. Sabi ko kasi, aakyat ako dito, dapat may pa-effect din ako. Hindi pwedeng kayo. Dapat may
Yes.
pa-Beyonce
Oh
fan
my
din ako.
God.
Yan.
Yes.
So mukhang
Oy.
effective naman.
Pero Poy, this will not be the last, ha? I mean, this is
Mhm.
just the first. We'll definitely invite you in the other sesh if you want
Of
to join
course,
us. Yeah.
of course. If
Yeah,
ever you
yeah.
still want me after this.
Oh, no,
Oo naman.
Oo naman.
Sure.
Ano ba yun?
Sigurado yan. So, we've already seen some of your comments, but I guess we want to hear it from you. Ano ba yung
Yes.
general comments mo about episode 3?
Episode 3, it was way better than episode 2. For me, kasi like what we were talking about dun sa Zoom breakout session namin nila Ma'am Miao, tsaka nila Ate Joy, parang episode 1 was a super powerful and a super strong episode. Then
Okay.
come episode 2, which was very, kumbaga, it didn't par much with episode 1 kasi parang Lilo sila doon. Then comes episode 3 with this scene, with this story, which was tastefully done. Parang it went up talaga. Sabi nga ni, like what we were talking nga kasi, 'di ba? Hindi pwede kasi parating mataas yung bigay mo sa isang storya. You must have the fluctuation. Kasi kung parating mataas 'yan, mawawala yung thrill. You will always know what it feels like to be up. Kaya sometimes you have to go down. Then you have to go back up again para ma-maintain mo yung thrill ng isang series or ng isang story in particular. So that's how I felt with episode 3. And like what I've said, nakwento ko rin ata to kay Mikey na it's more of really a series than a BL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kasi we all know, parang when we interviewed kasi Direct Von in the Random Sesh, he really did point out that we want, as said, non-verbatim naman, that they wanted Cheat the series to become not really that tied to BL, but more of the viewers to see it as a series talaga, that there is a story.
Yeah.
Yun lang naman. And one thing I like about it, parang ako personally, I'm more interested to know what will happen what is the background story? Bakit may involved na magic?
Right.
Bakit,
Mm.
kung ano yung
Right.
story, bakit naging broken family sila?
Right.
What is the story of
Mhm.
why Dong likes V, or why V likes Dong? And then the
Mhm.
younger brother, which is VR, but ganun yung naging motivation niya para na lang i-video yung nangyari sa kapatid niya tsaka kay V.
Yeah.
So I'm more
Yes.
interested on knowing the story itself rather
Mhm.
than digging deep to the BL part of the story, if that makes any sense.
It
Yeah.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yes, it
It
does.
makes
It does. It
So
does.
And
yun
in
lang
addition,
naman.
in
Yeah,
addition
yeah.
to that, there's also something that we still haven't found out, and I think it's very, very important because it's basically the central character. Because number one, V was delivered to the church, right? So we don't know what his patronage is. We don't know what his heritage is, but we know that he is in the care of Sister, who has a very almost maniacal protective streak in her for the boy that is in her charge, diba? However, apart from her being protective, she also has, I think, this kind of hostility towards him as
Yeah.
well. And at one point, again, this is from the clips that we've seen in previous episodes. I mean, the ones that they posted, is that anak ka ng demonyo. I mean, she said that to V at one point. So I'm thinking,
Mhm.
what is V? Is he a normal human being? Or is he a demon
The Antichrist.
humanoid? Alam mo yun? So parang, alam mo yan? So maybe one of the
Yeah.
reasons why the magic didn't work is because he maybe has a Harry Potter sort of like protective spell over him or something like that, diba? Which may be which may be from his own magical self, or which may be put on him by his magical family. I don't know, whatever. Why was he abandoned? Was he abandoned because that was the only way that he could be protected? That if he was not known by, I mean, if his whereabouts were unknown, that maybe he would be protected, and then sometime in the future he would come back to the fold, and then he would be the savior. Is he part of a prophecy of some sort? So alam mo yun, parang ang dami kong naiisip about him. So that's one particular backstory that I'm very interested in knowing, because he is the one in the middle of all of this. Diba? Siya yung pinagkakaguluhan. Siya yung, siya yung pinoprotektahan. Alam mo yun? So parang, hopefully, that tale is told. Maybe not in the 4th episode, but sometime during the series. Because it might answer some of the other questions that we have about him.
Yeah, and
I
I'm really
agree.
curious, like, how strong is his religious foundation? Because if you're raised fundamentalist Christian, your dogma would be so strong na
Yeah.
whatever tukso would come your way, you'd fight it
Mhm.
back. So I was wondering, how was he raised with that setting?
Okay.
Kasi parang he was able to release whatever dogma he has, kumbaga. And why isn't he seeing his act as a sin? Na ganun ka lala na sin. And maybe that would come in with the next episode na. Wherein, I think I remember seeing a clip wherein the sister was starting to do flagellation.
Right.
And I think that's
And
going to
then
be the
slap on
scene
the table.
where, yes, and I think that's going to be the scene where she'll be saying, anak ka ng demonyo. Maybe.
Right. Mm-mm. And she did say,
To build on that,
yeah. Go
yes,
on.
Mikey.
Go ahead.
To build on that, may naalala lang ako when you said anak ng demonyo. Parang I forgot the title, pero naalala niyo yung pelikula ni Ian Veneracion when he was actually a monster. Anak siya ng demonyo. I forgot the title, lumang pelikula na yun. But he comes from this religious family and something like that. Then it turns out to be na siya pala yung anak ng demonyo. So something like that. Kasi parang what I'm picking up kay Mikey kasi parang bakit nga ba hindi tumalab yung spell? Maybe he is something more sinister than the black magic trying to be put on him.
Yeah, it's like
Maybe.
if we go religion in a way, you're praying, kumbaga, he's the Antichrist nga. How would a magical spell
Yeah.
you prayed upon to is gonna work on that kind of person?
Yeah.
Diba? So parang mag-backfire lang. It will go
True.
back to him. Parang ganun lang.
True.
He'll absorb that magic. Kasi you're praying to me,
Kasi siya
kumbaga.
nga yung sinister mo. True.
Oo.
Yes.
Although we did
Ayun,
talk
kumbaga
about
siya na yung
diba?
most.
Yes. Or I like the theory then sa chats dito. It's like they're saying na if he isn't the Antichrist, he could be an incubus. Kasi the incubus are known to
Like
be
the
sexual
band,
beings. Yes, like if you know Morrigan from the Nintendo,
Oh, Morrigan!
from the
Oh my
Capcom,
god!
she's a succubus. So that an incubus is a male counterpart of that.
It's very interesting. But I don't know if they're gonna go the demon route. Kasi that would be a totally different sort of like
Yeah.
what do you call that? Dimension or plane, diba? But in here we're talking about magic. So he might just be a magical creature or part of a magical family because in the first episode, diba, he was trying to do magic with Alora. And he was able to do it, diba? With her help, but still he was able to do it. So there might be some, that might be a clue for us. We don't know yet. Pero yeah, very interesting, diba? Na parang in terms of, let's say, his religious upbringing and then his sexual discovery, kumbaga, maybe yun nga eh, maybe his inculcation is not as ingrained in him as maybe other people who are brought up in the church. But we all know that feeling of, our first sex, our first love, kumbaga, our first forage into that kind of experience, diba? Parang it tends to be a little overwhelming and it tends to sort of like drown out everything else, especially pag the hormones kick in, diba? So maybe that could be a reason why he's not following his religious indoctrination. Kasi yun nga eh, parang in terms of yung sexual awakening, it can be a little bit, it can affect your brain. It can affect your senses and your reasoning.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah, and the incubus kasi are known to be dream walkers then. So parang if you connect that with yung intro ng first episode, it's like it won't work kasi you're doing that on my plane. Kumbaga, you're embodying that spirit onto my plane that I grew up with or I was born with inherently. So
basically parang cancel out siya, ganun.
Cancel out siya. That's why it makes sense in a way kasi you're saying that Dong doesn't know what happened. He just said that natulog lang sila or in that context maybe. And the spell that maybe Alora was doing was something that uses the magic of an incubus. Na dreamwalking din. Ang dami.
Kasi Alora was surprised, diba? Kasi she was surprised that Dong and V were getting it on.
Yeah.
Diba? Parang to her mind, she did the spell that was supposed to get her to be in his sights, diba? So,
yes. And if he's a real incubus, maybe, because I'm just thinking, correcting everything na rin, he would get his power from the sexual interaction. He'd be stronger with that.
Right. So it's not just a sexual awakening, it's a magical awakening for him as well.
Yeah.
Diba? Now that's interesting. That's something I want to see. So that's why, you know what? Okay, so because you put that in my head, diba? Parang initially he was like, Jay, alam mo, parang he was begging Jay to not say anything, not tell sister, whatever, diba? But then when Jay started kissing him, he was kissing back. So it wasn't like he didn't want to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
He was into it. Alam mo yun? So parang in his head, he wasn't thinking about Dong. He wasn't thinking about Alora. He wasn't thinking about anyone else. But he was just in the zone in that moment. So if you're saying that he feeds off of other people's, or sex gives him life or magic or energy, whatever, I can totally see that in that scene. I mean, wow.
Okay, I'm really damn curious now what will happen on episode 4. But I'm still going back to kasi what they were saying about, they only mentioned that it's not about the mythos So take out the anything related to the spiritual elements of a mythology. That would be the tikbalang, the aswang
But we don't
in our
have those
side.
in here, di ba?
Yeah,
In this
but
series.
we don't have that in the series. Pero an incubus ties in with religion too. It's a demonized version of something. It's the kumbaga, if you have angels, they're the opposite of the angels. Kaya napaisip ako. Maybe
then
that's the
again-
only thing that they kept.
But then again, if you think about it, I mean, our definitions of angels, demons, etc. I mean, these all come from the church, diba? Because if we were not Christianized, kumbaga, we would see them differently. Like we would have pagan gods, diba? So there's the, diba? Is it Abulo? I'm sorry, I'm pretty
Abuloy?
bad with. No. Those little,
Abulol.
wooden-
Yeah, I have those.
Bulol, right?
They're the
And for
fertility
Barca,
gods
diba?
of the Ifugao, so of the Cordilleras.
Correct. So, I mean, those would be our sort of like images of the gods, diba? And then parang there's neither bad nor good. There's just, I guess there's anger. Because, I mean, pagan gods can get really angry, etc. And then you have to offer sacrifices, etc. So parang, I'm just saying that parang iba talaga yung magiging natin eh. Parang orientation or imagery or idea about it. So it's the church that gave us demons and angels and such.
Yeah.
So the idea of incubus or incubi, whatever the plural is, parang it also comes from that particular branch of belief. Diba?
Yeah, kasi they're
So parang-
the children of Lilith, actually. If you go pinaka-higher, di ba, we have Adam, Eve, and Lilith.
Yes.
Right.
And other mythos, they're the children of Lilith.
So ayun nga, parang what was my point? I kind of got lost there because I have too many thoughts in my head. But yun nga, parang I guess what I'm trying to say is parang it's religion that puts these kinds of concepts and presents them as either bad or good or for or against, diba? Pero maybe there are just things that people can do, and there are just some forces that we cannot explain but are available to us. And then we label it because we want to understand it, or we want to be able to sort of like transfer the same concept in somebody else's brain, diba? So that when we say, for example, magic, everyone will understand what it is. But then again, parang in itself, in its essence, parang it's just maybe someone being able to tap into that unseen or unknown or let's say force and do something with it, V. I keep coming back to V.
What did he do? VR explain. VR, explain to V, please.
I think somebody mentioned in the comments. See, I think it was Al. V posted. No, Daryl posted something
And
which
TikTok.
was a TikTok video, right? And then he showed himself as Gun Atapon.
Yes.
Gifted. At least he was wearing the same clothes. And
Same
then
clothes, the same color.
switch to red, diba? Switch to red. So alam mo yun, parang in my head, parang the duality. So that could be
Yeah.
something that I mean,
It
that
could be a
actually
clue.
unique. It could be a clue, right? Na parang parang on the surface, he looks harmless. Innocent, diba? But then there could be like another aspect to him. Maybe knowingly or unknowingly, there is another side to him that is dangerous, sinister, bad, evil. Yeah, man.
There's another theory. Si Ma'am Yao talaga, ang daming plot theories. Kasi diba, remember, the mother was looking at the spell book, the parang conception spell. Why am I thinking that V could be parang siya yung result of conception spell na yun?
Oh my god!
Oh,
You know what? That would be exactly what something that could be really explosive if they were actually siblings.
oh my gosh.
Half
Oh my
brother.
god.
Kasi diba, if Mary had the conception and they're tagging her as mother, so parang divine conception, so this is the opposite of that. So Kiko's asking who would the dad be? So sino ba tatay nung anak ni yung nagbigay kay Mary noong dati? So yun lang, just look at the parallelisms kasi diba we see the mother figure then in the side nung sa sister din. And
Mhm.
she's not your typical mother too. So,
Going
ang
crazy.
ganda ng polarities nila. Nakabalo na ako.
Oh my god.
But I love it.
Oh,
I love it. I love this series.
can I just say, VR, napaka-triggering ng kissing scene nyo. Yun lang. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, your VR got back. That's all I can say.
I mean, that was... Yeah, anyways. Moving on.
Nashook ako doon.
Talaga ba?
Oo.
Yeah. I mean, I was already expecting it, but I mean, to actually see it
Yeah.
and the way that they,
Yes. Executed it and all.
yeah, and that's something very commendable about this cast, diba? Parang it wasn't awkward at all because you would see BLs, BLs sometimes, yung parang they would angle it in such a way that they would appear to be kissing, but they're not really kissing.
But not really.
And then we've also seen Pinoy BLs wherein they would kiss, but it would be very tender. It would be very tentative. But here, oh my God,
It was
parang
hot.
passion kung passion talaga, di ba? Parang, okay, like, yes, go for it.
There were no hesitations, no? Wala ka nakitang
None
hesitation sa
whatsoever.
lahat ng yon.
Correct. Parang, alam mo yun,
Gosh.
parang gusto niya, they wanted to suck the other person's goiter. Alam mo yun, parang kilitiin yung tonsil, ganun. Abutin yung small intestine.
Pamanananggal effect na pala tayo. Oh my God.
Ang boyfriend ko crosswise.
Ang boyfriend kong crosswise.
Oh my God. Seriously.
Intestines for me, Mikey. Promise. Natawa ako doon.
Oh my God. I've seen too many, I don't know what those are called. I mean, not hentai, but those sort of like monstrous anime having sex and then their tongues would go in one hole and out another hole.
I know the genre, but I forgot the name.
I mean, never mind. They were going for the dong dong.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Pakikiliti ng abdo, ganon, abot, diba?
It's the abdo for me, my God.
Ganun
Just,
kahaba, kayang abutin yun.
Where is
I'm
abdo
just
even
saying.
located?
I don't know, I have no idea. But, parang, that's kind of how it felt, So,
Yeah.
good job there, guys. Good job.
A kiss that pierces the soul.
On the other hand, I also want to say, there were some moments where it was kind of awkward, parang medyo scripted pakinggan yung pag-deliver ng lines. But, parang it's forgivable naman, hoping na maybe for those particular scenes, especially, for example, if you're delivering a line and it doesn't sound like you're comfortable with delivering the line, maybe they can say it differently, maybe they could rephrase it, or maybe they could say it in Tagalog, if it's in English, or vice versa. Ganun. So, there were just a couple of things, but hopefully, it doesn't become major in the next episodes. So, okay pa naman. Ang importante
For me, yung acting ni Alora, yung may denial part siya. When the two was having their scene sa may garahe. For me, I was so hooked up sa acting na yun. Parang, my gosh, you know already that there is something, but your denial was so, alam mo yun, ayun na yung realidad sa harap mo. You're hearing it, diba? But still, your denial was adamant, very adamant.
Right.
And I like her there.
I was also thinking that, well, I'm moving to a completely different thing. I was also thinking that we don't see Alan in this episode. Not really. Well, he was playing a video game. But the way that, do you remember in our chat with the cast? Alan said that we really have to watch out for,
his character?
Eo said we really need to watch out for Alan because he plays a major role in this sort of like family drama. So I'm thinking, if he does have a major bit, why don't we see him that much? So, alam mo yan, parang, is he gonna surprise us in the end? Or, alam mo yan, are we gonna see more of him in the coming episodes? Hopefully we do. Because parang I feel na he's also sort of like a missed opportunity. Kasi, obviously, he's a very good actor. He's very empathic. At least in what we saw in the lives. Diba? So, yeah. I don't know if we're gonna see the mistress again, or if we are ever gonna see the dad. I don't know.
I don't
Dad.
think so. Tapos si Von
But-
pala mag-play ng dad.
Did you see the picture? I mean, in episode one, in episode one, we saw a picture of the dad, diba? But I didn't
I didn't catch the full
Recognize.
face. I didn't.
Yeah,
And
I didn't catch the
recognize
whole face.
kung sino siya eh. I mean, I don't know. Well, we can check the credits, diba? To see who the dad is. Pero hindi siya familiar to me. That's what I meant. Ayun. Ay. Sumasakit ulo ko. What else? Parang,
But how many episodes is Cheat the series? 8? Is it 8?
alam ko 6. So we're halfway
Okay.
done.
We're
halfway done.
we're halfway done.
Right.
Interesting on how they will pick up on the story. Meaning, parang ang dami
Yeah.
pang pwedeng gawin sa storya niya.
Exactly.
Ang daming questions more than answers, to be honest. So ano
Very
pang,
true.
how many episodes are left, diba?
Kaya may season 2 daw sila eh. Daw.
Exactly.
Da-
Maybe we're
Diba
limiting
pa-
it too much to season 1. There's gonna be a season 2.
Ah, yeah.
And if there's gonna be a season 3, and each season is 6 episodes, that would be 666.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
May malaw-
I would
may
We're
malaw.
love
We're going on that track.
But
Pwede,
666
Mikey. Why not?
666
Why
isn't
not?
necessarily. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a number that is more popularly known with the devil. But I can't remember right now. But there is another significance to the number 666. I just can't remember it right now. But I know that there is something else to it. So, but if they did that, like 3 seasons and then it's 666, that would be really funny. You know. Diba?
It would add to the mystic of the series.
Right.
Perhaps
Ah.
that's why Direct Von posted if they should make more series. If they should make more. Actually, I saw that tweet.
Yeah.
Would be.
The UTV. I don't know if it's Direct Von, but it was UTV, and they tweeted something like,
Uh-huh.
"Should we make more?" I guess they're pertaining to the episodes. Because in fairness naman to Cheat, inaabangan ko sila. They're one of the series
Right.
included sa third wave ng BLs that I really am looking forward.
Mhm.
There are a lot
Same
of
thing.
series there are a lot of series already in the third wave of BLs, and I mean Cheat is leading. For me, personally, Cheat is
Mhm,
leading with
mhm.
so many BLs running and raining on us and the third wave.
Right.
Mm.
Cheat is really leading the way.
Yeah, pero
Yeah.
if I'll be honest, parang it's not as they're leading the way for giving us a different kind of storytelling,
Mhm.
but not
yeah.
as strong as the predecessors.
Yeah, I get you there.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
A different perspective.
Mm.
Mm.
I guess parang we also have to consider perhaps the timing, or perhaps the stream of BLs that we're getting. Kasi diba parang one of the reasons why probably we're not as impacted by this kind of storyline or by this story is because we've seen other BLs. And what I'm saying is parang since the first BL came out, first we were just looking at killing, and then we
Yeah.
started becoming more critical, and then we
Yeah.
started to become more analytical as well about what was
Mhm.
happening.
Yeah.
So kumbaga parang in the first waves, parang we were all just experiencing it.
We were
right?
happy that we had a
We were
representation sa first wave.
exactly. So as time went by, parang the experience, I guess, in terms of yung impact sa atin, parang nag-iba. Kasi nag-iba na rin yung mindset natin when we view BL. That's one of the things, di ba? Pero what I like about this nga is, yun nga yung sinabi ni Nico kanina, di ba? Parang if you have this plot line, without the magic, it's just like any other plot line. Di ba?
Yes.
Parang you have parang a mother na parang who was shunned. So, parang she's trying to get back at the mistress, she's trying to get back at the ex, etc. And then she has children that she needs to take care of, but the children are all making a mess of themselves. So parang, parang it can be lifted and then put in another story just like that, diba? Parang what makes it different is really the magical angle or the magical aspect of it. So parang everything else is sort of like seen through that lens, is seen through that filter. Diba? So yun nga, parang ngayon, instead of just looking at it as a story, we're now looking at it from that other, that other perspective. As well. Yeah. Yeah. Wala na pong maisip. Naghang na yung utak ko.
Sakit ka sa ulo na to.
I know. Laura, can you come up?
Kasi parang,
Laura, can one of you come up?
Parang building on what Mikey said kasi parang, ayan, nawala yung train of thoughts ko. Oh my God. Sorry. Nawala yung train of thoughts ko. Building on what Mikey said, parang, now we're daw ang labanan na lang ngayon is, how will you present it in a very creative way?
Right.
Kasi 'di ba, parang everything has been done na naman eh. Be it in the hetero and the traditional teleserye. Parang is there something may original pa ba? And same will come to BL. Same will come to BL eh. Parang pagdadaanan pa lang natin yung mga pinagdaanan ng mga teleserye, traditional teleserye natin eh. Now the fight would be, how are you going to give us, let's say, an old idea, but how are you going to present it in a more creative, more interesting way, in a plot wherein you could still surprise us?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Para yun yung ano niya, yun yung magiging bentahe na. Parang, 'di ba, like what happened to Game Boys. Game Boys, ang una namang naggawa ng split screen is the Aldab. Ang difference lang talaga nito is it's our first BL. Then here comes the second wave, the third wave. And then in the third wave, dumating yung cheat. Then they added magic to spice it up. Na dilagyan pa nila ng BL touch, which makes us more hooked and interested. And to be fair naman, almost all of their episodes, 3 episodes, yung 3 episodes nila are all very riveting eh. Very maka-capture ka talaga. Kasi nga, there's a different twist to it. So kaya kudos to the whole cheat series team.
Diba? True. And that's the challenge for any upcoming BLs that we're going to be seeing. It's really how do you repackage it in such a way na parang it's not the same old packaging. I mean,
yes.
So that's why parang I think the way to go there would be, yun nga, parang stories that we haven't seen yet on screen, diba? So getting more femme representation, for example. I think Jude mentioned it at one point that parang he wants to see corporate BL naman, so parang in the workplace, etc. And like middle-aged men, hopefully Ian Veneracion. Hi.
Shout out to Ian Veneracion.
Sir Ian Veneracion, yes. Hopefully, sir. Thank you. And there's a lot more stories, diba? Parang maybe the storylines are going to be the same, or we've seen the storylines before, pero yun nga, yung paano sila pinagtatagpi-tagpi, and the unique perspective from someone who actually went through it, diba? That would be interesting. So, hopefully that happens, and hopefully parang as a viewer naman, hindi tayo ma-saturate. Kasi, or
Yeah.
maging overly critical or analytical. Kasi I think that's what's happening.
True,
Parang
true.
we're looking
Yeah.
at everything, even to the minutest detail. And
True,
the thing
true
is,
that.
when you nitpick each and every single thing, it mars the experience. Kasi parang now you're looking for the negatives versus just enjoying it for what it is, diba? So, I mean, that's something that I have to watch out for myself as well. Kasi parang pag may nakita ko na parang, ay, malito. Alam mo yun, parang, ay, bakit yung representation? So parang for me, nasira na yung series. Pero baka naman there's gonna be like redemption. Alam mo yun, parang may redemption arc na yung tinatawag eh. So parang, and that's the thing eh, parang sometimes we become overly critical or we let one thing sort of like become the turning point for the entire thing, right?
No, we have to take holistically, no, the series. We have to take it holistically.
Very true.
Yeah, parang I'm looking at it in a lens na I'm waiting it to finish in a way because I want to see it as a whole, like how I treat the movie, kumbaga.
True.
And I think parang if I were to talk about the experience as well, diba? Parang it's different if you watch it on a per week basis.
Yes.
Because the longer you have to wait for another episode, the longer you have time to be able to blow things out of proportion or to come up with so many theories and assumptions that, you know, parang you basically go crazy. Apart as hindi tulad na, for example, if you binge watch something, then you get sort of like the timeline in sometimes in one complete sitting, diba?
Yeah.
So parang you're just going with the flow.
Yeah.
So
Kasi
ano yun? Go ahead.
Yeah, kasi ang difference nila, like if we go back to TV, if you notice, our series go every single day. So there's no space or breathers for you to listen to your audience. So it has to be plotted like parang each day, what will happen on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. Wherein with the YouTube generation now, they have a breather. It's done every week. So they have parang with this coming YouTube move, everyone is now open to what the people get to say. They have a breathing space we're in. Okay, what does our audience get to say? And we give immediate feedback. Unlike during the teleserye days in the TV, we couldn't even give a feedback. And we know if we do give one, it won't come back. It won't be seen as early as we hope to be. Parang ganun.
At eto pa, dahil pinakita si VR, di ba? Yung mga yung mga spoilers or yung mga clues nakakabaliw pag 'di ba? Pag hindi mo, so if you watch it all in one go, parang there's no other, you don't have time to watch for outside stimuli or whatever. Pero ngayon, dahil may mga paayuda, parang it, you know,
oh, that's Migos paayuda, pero VR is interesting too.
Hi, Migo.
Hi, Migo.
Migo, ba't hindi mo ginawa yan sa live? Char!
Oh my gosh.
Char lang.
Pero ang ganda ng shot niya. Ang ganda ng shadows and light.
How did you do this? I mean, this looks like either it was plugged to the ceiling or there's a drone.
It could be there's a drone or high ceiling shot yan. Like if I were going to shoot that, I'd be from a ladder. I'd be standing on a ladder.
And then parang naka-panorama, no? Para mas wider yung ano. Kuha.
Or pwedeng drone.
Yeah.
The effort.
I know. Or scaffolding ka just to shoot that. Effort, no?
It's a good shot, though.
And shout out to Al.
Very good.
Kasi nag-comment si Al.
Ang sabi?
Sa tweet na yun.
Hello, Al.
Hi, Al. 3 faces.
Huli ka.
Huli ka, Al.
Yes, Al. Ano sabi ni Al?
Not us calling out Al.
Buti hindi si Al. Buti si Al, hindi si Kiko. Si Kiko sanay
oh
na
my
po.
God. True.
Wala. Mababasa na naman si Kiko.
Yes.
Mga ngamatis na naman si Kiko.
Yes. Pero ito yung quote. I'll read na lang yung kay VR. VR
Uh-oh.
says in his
Ah.
hashtag cheat the series episode 4, do not
Okay.
trust a single tongue. The truth will eventually come. I'll let myself drown in your lies for now. Remember, this book can give you truths, but this can also make you the best of fools. Galing. Ang galing.
Did you just make that? Or is that part
Quoted
of the
from something.
It's from VR. I'm not sure if
Well, he has a
VR.
copy. He has a copy of the script. So
Yes,
I don't know.
and it goes through the approval of the director, whatever he posts as a teaser. So
Sure ba? Baka mamaya ma-memo to si
Do
VR.
not,
ay,
do
hindi
not
sure
trust
yan.
a single tongue. So, kaya pala dalawa yung tongue na naano.
Oh,
Oo.
For
so many
for
tongues
Dong and for
happening actually in this episode. Pero this is episode 4 now. Do not trust a single tongue. So it's basically that anyone can be a liar. And
Yes.
Yeah.
since the series name is cheat, basically everybody can be a cheat. V can also be cheating them.
Yes.
Maybe
Yes.
not consciously, but he could be cheating them in some way. Diba?
The
What
question
else do you
is,
think?
paano nila gagawin? Paano pa nila i-stretch? Imagine, ilang episodes na lang tayo.
Ayun na nga eh. Feeling ko, since, parang feeling ko may season 2, and feeling ko bibitinin tayo again sa
Oh
last
my.
episode. I'm thinking about it. And so VR said the book can give you truths, but it can also make you a fool.
Fools.
Which is yun nga eh. Parang, I think that's what I said during episode 1, diba? So, I mean, magic is there. How you
Yes.
use the magic is up to you. And number 1, it can be to somebody else's benefit or it can be to your benefit. And it can also be a triumph for you, but it can also be, it can also make you look like or become a fool, diba?
It
So,
could
like,
also
yung
be your downfall.
It can also be your downfall, right? Like the Gayuma, di ba? Parang
Or it happens
looked
both na.
she looked like a fool kasi it didn't work out.
It
It didn't work the way
backfired.
she wanted. Exactly.
And she got the truth too, kumbaga, kasi she saw the reality that she's not,
Mm-mm.
maybe she'll see na soon, that V is not really in love with her.
Or some magic are really not that powerful. There is something
Mhm.
stronger than magic. Something stronger than a Gayuma.
Right.
True.
Right. So episode 4 is going to be a continuation from what we've seen here. So if we're talking about liars, so Alora lied, but wait,
VR lied.
VR lied. I was saying, Dong is probably lying because of the Gayuma,
Mm-hmm.
and V is lying to sister. So everyone's a liar.
Everyone is cheating.
Yes.
Everyone is cheating.
I'm a liar.
But wait. So Alora talked to her mom, diba? And it seemed
Mhm.
like they understood each other.
Mhm.
That she used a spell, and mom knows what spell she used because the book told her which spell was used.
Mhm.
But then when Jay told her that I'm gonna tell mother, she said, "Wag mong sasabihin kay mom." But you guys already talked, so mom already knows what you did. So why
Mhm.
would you tell Jay to not tell mom when mom already knows? So okay, I just thought about that now, so I'm a little bit confused in that point. Unless there was something else. Kasi
That we're
sabi ni Jay,
missing something.
di ba, parang, have you noticed something weird in Dong's behavior? Parang, I think they fucked or something like that. Or, I'm gonna tell mom, di ba? Parang, don't you tell her. Ang dami na nga siyang iniisip, di ba? Pero, didn't you guys already talk about it? The spell and V. So, I'm confused now.
I mean, there's still a lot of loose ends kasi. I mean, ang dami pa. And I think we'll only find that out maybe on the next
On
episode.
on the next
Episode 4 or 5 or 6.
Yeah. Ano ba yung title ng third episode? Love and Deceit.
Hmm.
Ano yung first? Di ba Sex and Magic? What was the second?
Sex and Magic. Episode 2 was The Guilty and the Beguiled.
So it comes in pairs. Ang galing.
That's right. That's right. So Sex and Magic.
Kasi-
Which was the sex? Si V at saka si Dong. Which was the
Mm.
magic?
Mm-mm.
Si Mother. Okay. So episode 2 is The Guilty and the Beguiled. Who's guilty? Beguiled is probably V or Dong. Kasi they're the recipients of the Gayuma.
Jennifer's the
guilt-
guilty one.
The guilty one. Why is she guilty?
Because she used a spell. And episode 3 was, kumbaga she's playing with the emotions kasi she's guilt. Parang she's using guilt maybe. I don't know.
Episode 3 is Love and Deceit. So, well, we know the love. We know the deceit as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Why does it always come in pairs?
Yeah, kasi that's what they wanted to do. I think because I remember the interview with Random Sesh. They also said that they wanted to play with both the purity and the ignorance, the light
Yeah.
and the dark, the goodness and the evil between a person.
So, it's about
it's all-
duality.
It's about duality. And it
Oh.
has always been about duality. You've seen it through
Ever.
the two sides, from the mother to the sister. Yun pa lang. Those are the two dualities that we have already.
Mother, sister. 2 books. One for
2
the daughter,
books.
one for the mother. There are 2 brothers.
Yeah.
Dong and Jay.
Saya.
Okay, I don't know where we're going with the duality thing, but there's pairs in every episode. I mean, there's
Pero,
the title.
Speaking of pairs, I don't know if this is something worth looking at. Pero diba, at episode 3, we saw how Alora tried to make Gayuma V,
Yeah.
diba? Para makuha si V. Then, si VR naman, how he tried to get V blackmailing him using the video. So you
Yeah.
see the 2 different ways of them trying to get V, 2 different means. Yung isa
Right.
One
is
was
through magical,
ah,
one was a
But it was-
magical attempt, and the other one was
Yeah.
through the blackmailing of the video.
one was true love.
Magkapatid nga
The-
sila.
One was true love, the other was deception. And they're going for the same thing.
Yeah,
But it's still coercion. You know, I mean,
true.
essentially, you're manipulating something. Nagahang na ako. But yes, I agree with whoever said na yes, the poem is pretty good actually. So VR, if you came up with that yourself,
He did.
done.
He said in the chats, he
Ooh.
did.
well
He did.
done.
Yes.
Kudos ang husay.
Oy, VR ha, oh my god.
Poet
not-
ka pala,
Yes.
ha?
I was gonna say
Poet ka
something.
pala.
Double pun intended.
Oh my gosh. I cannot.
VR. Good with your tongue and also good with Charot.
With your poetry.
Which is also verbal. Charot.
Good with your tongue and good with your hands for writing the poetry.
Right.
Kaya pa.
Yes. Hugh, everywhere since you're in the chats, please give us some information. Please.
Yeah, give us something to talk about.
Something to talk
Everything is
about.
settling in pa. I mean, everything is
hello.
settling in.
QTV everywhere.
true
Hi,
that.
Direct.
Yeah, Hugh.
What do you
Hi,
think about what
Direct.
we've
Hi,
done so
Direct.
far?
Hi, Direct Von.
You want to give us something to make our brains explode?
Yeah. Direct Von is one of the nicest. And one of the
talked to him,
funniest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Random
Super funny and super funny and super intelligent in Direct One, as in you will love
But
him.
he's also the producer, diba? Kasi in the credits. Producer
Credits.
nakalagay
Yeah.
sa kanya eh.
Mm-mm.
And then nakalagay
Yeah.
directed by Craig Lyons. So, yeah. Interesting.
Ang tataba ng utak nila to come up with this, no? As in,
Oo.
to brave this kind of plot twist, to brave this kind of storyline. Parang tapang nyo.
Yeah, for Philippine media,
Grabe.
tapang nyo. Kasi if they were going
True.
to American media, I think this has been done already. So
True.
it was a good move that they did in the Philippine media, especially on YouTube, na they're not hindi sila sakop ng MTRCB. Kasi feeling ko
Very
if they were
brave.
still part of
Brave.
that, my God, we would have all the letters down there.
True.
I think we can attribute that to Craig Lyons, diba? Because
Mm-hmm.
remember in his one of his interviews is that he basically took inspiration from Shakespeare's Othello, where basically people were jealous of somebody's innocence, and they basically tried to take that innocence for themselves. So they tried to cheat that person out of their innocence because diba, sometimes when we see something pure, we're attracted to it because it is basically something that either number one we don't have or something that we've already lost or something that we want for ourselves, diba?
Something we aspire for.
Something we aspire for. So I think yun nga eh, parang V, by his background, na he was raised in a convent. We don't know his history. So in a way, he's kind of mysterious in that way, diba? That's parang, yun nga, he's very innocent because he doesn't have a lot of worldly experience. So I guess that's why Alora is attracted to him. Yes, go ahead.
Ako naman, when you mentioned Shakespeare and Othello, I was thinking naman of, parang na-mention ko na din to dati pa. I was thinking of Midsummer Night's Dream.
Yes,
Kala ko yung story niya parang maging Midsummer Night's Dream na parang...
Kala ko rin din.
Oo, parang ganun siya tatakbo. Parang, ay, of course. Then seeing episode 3, ay, okay, hindi siya ganun.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes it more interesting.
So yun nga, no? Parang... It's not exactly the same thing, pero I think that was parang the inspiration for or the impetus for it at least.
Yeah.
Diba? But if we try to put it in that perspective, parang yun nga, parang V is now something that everyone desires because V is something parang alam mo yan, parang tawag dito pure.
Pure. Yung gusto
parang
makuha ng lahat.
unadulterated. Same word, no? Inibala. Unadulterated. Tapos parang they wanna adult him.
Tapos, and the funny thing is, di ba they're talking about dualities? And on episode 6, maybe, he's the duality itself. He's both pure and evil. Kasi he's born out of, like he's an incubus, but he's pure. If you get that concept.
But yun nga eh, parang how do we define evil, di ba? Kasi maybe, for example, money, di ba? Parang the cliche or the idiom or I forgot what it's called. It's parang money is the root of all evil.
The root of all
but
evil.
then if you rephrase it, if you try to look at it from a different perspective, it's the love for money which is evil.
For money.
Di ba?
Yeah, and it's the same thing with this, din naman, with the spells and the
exactly. Or if we can also look at it as V, diba? Parang V is not evil, pero the way that they are trying to take V for themselves can be the root of the evil. I mean, so he's basically just the impetus again. Pero so his duality is not necessarily something that he consciously does, but maybe it's just something that affects other people to behave one way or another. Alam mo yun?
Yeah. Hi, we will find out in according to UTV the other seasons and their spin-offs.
So the spin-off, can you give us an idea about the spin-off?
Who would it be?
Oh my god. What if the spin-off is like V's origin story and his family's magical origins? May ganun.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That would be very interesting. By the way,
I'd love
Direct,
that.
if you need extras, wow!
Yes, direct.
Mike is very
mean-
available.
I mean, you know,
Direct.
I could,
If you need resource people,
up my
we are
schedule.
also here. We know some friends who actually do it too. Who practice that
I know
stuff.
some friends. Oh my god.
You're not alone, Direct.
Macbeth.
We're just
Macbeth
one
kasi
DM
medyo
away.
incestuous yung Macbeth eh.
Yeah, baka it could be a mix of all three. Kasi Macbeth has the
Mhm.
witches and has the killing. But we're going into the dream.
Othello.
Uh,
Midsummer Night's Dream has magic as well.
uh,
And love.
Yeah.
Ano, it could be. Kung fan talaga siya ni Shakespeare.
take all these three elements,
Interesting.
merge them together.
Yeah, interesting.
Wait. The witch's spell. Double.
Toil and trouble, fire, burn, and cauldron bubble. Kabisado
So
ko
it's
pa
all
yun dati.
It's about
Duality.
doubles.
Yeah, it's about,
Duality.
yes. And yun naman kasi, I mean, that's the basic concept kasi with Wiccan, or with when you're dealing with magic, then it's all about duality. Parang it's give and take. It's always that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I'm sorry, because I hit my earphones. I think, pero, di ba, parang, if you think about it, parang everyone has duality, di ba? I mean, we have our sides
Of
to
course.
ourselves, di ba? So parang, and if you think about it, parang, it's not just duality, actually, parang we have multiple personalities. Like, if you talk about the Johari, well, similar to the Johari window, and basically you have your secret, you know, yourself, who you authentically are without other people there, and then who you are with other people, and then what other people think about you, but what you're really not, because there's a version of you in every person's head, which is different. So there's a million versions of you out there, depending on who is interacting or who is thinking of you, diba? So yeah, what was my point? That basically, I guess na parang there can be so many things that a person can be that maybe we're just scratching the surface of what V, Alora, and the other people are, diba?
And I like this. I like another spin-off spoken in the chat by my partner, and he's saying that a good spin-off can actually be set on the past, wherein the mother and the sister are part of the same coven or part of the same convent. It could be either way.
Somebody
Then-
mentioned before that sister might actually be related to the family. I don't know how or if it's true, but that is also an interesting idea.
Yeah, and since she knows where they come from, that's why she's been cursing Jennifer a lot. Di ba yung foreseeing pa lang nila?
Diba? Yung parang may anger siya kay
Mm.
Jennifer. Sabi ko, why? It's just a teenager.
True.
Hello.
Yeah. Why is she so threatened of Jennifer?
Yes, very true. So ayan. I think
I was going to say something dun sa sinabi ni Mikey kanina. Nakakalimutan ko ulit. Ayan, sa sobrang ano.
sa sobrang daming nasasabi.
Hindi, ano, ang dami rin tumatakbo sa isip ko, hindi ko siya ma-put into words. Iba
Diba?
lumipad na. Hi, Tito
Right.
Mare.
Yes, hi UTV then.
Hi,
Sana
Mary,
po.
Marco.
Hi, Direk.
Direct slide some DMs then, please. Or will it tell?
We're very much available.
Yeah.
Lalo if you need a think tank for your, or a FGD for your FDG for your spin-off season 2, we're here.
Oh my gosh.
Ayan. Hindi ko
Ay,
na
ito, may tanong
makolekta
si
ulit.
Joy.
Yes, Ate Joy.
If siya si V, sino sa magkakapatid na pipiliin nyo?
Okay, Poi. That's a good question.
Sorry.
If you're V, which of the three
would you
siblings would you
choose?
choose?
Who would you
Ah,
choose?
if you're if you're V, si
You or V?
si Dong.
Mm-hmm. Because
Because
Well, he's my love interest din, 'di ba? According to dun sa ano.
mhm.
Kung ba siya yung nauna. Kung sino yung nauna, dapat dun ka lang. Ang very pure nung idea. Nainis ako sa sarili ko. Akala mo ang beer hen, nakakainis.
That's a good question. Ikaw
Yeah,
lang.
Mikey.
Me? Dude, you already know the answer. VR.
Default.
I
Yeah.
mean, VR.
Yeah, but
It's,
if I were
VR,
in-
it's always been you. Char.
yeah.
Oh, it's always been him.
Always been VR.
If I were to choose, because it's gonna be a tough question actually. Because you're picking between the love of your life or your crush kumbaga versus your best friend.
Hmm.
Because your best friend would be Jennifer. Your love of your parang ultimate crush would be Dong.
But I think that's the joke, eh. That's the gag. That's the fool. Because she
yeah.
feels na V is in love with her, but he isn't at all. I mean, he doesn't see her in that way. I don't see him
Yes.
seeing her any other way but as a friend. So, where is her delulu coming from?
Where hurt it kaya nga eh. Kaya for
Diba?
that reasoning, I go with Dong. Because I'm meant to be with him. Ganun eh.
Ako hindi, kasi si Dong talaga yung nauna. So,
Oo.
You never forget. Your
Yeah.
Yes.
Ajay, yun na yung sagot mo. Alam mo na yan.
Huwag na tayo lampas, Joy. Hanggang doon muna ha. We're in brew ha. So,
yes.
sa kabila pa yung iba.
Right. So, the question is, are we ready for the next episode?
Oh, hell yes. I am
Yeah.
so ready. I want to know what's going to happen next.
Oh my
very
God.
much. Very much kasi ang
Seriously,
daming tanong eh.
My brain is... See, I can't even complete a sentence. My brain is
Ako,
on
Ako hinahanap-
lockdown right now.
ako hinahabol ko pa rin yung sasabihin ko sana kanina na hindi ko na talaga mahagilap.
But do you remember what somebody said before you thought of whatever it is that you thought of?
About duality, about people having different
Multiple
different personalities. Yeah.
Right?
Some-
We're only scratching the
yeah.
surface.
Yeah.
Border somewhere like that. Pero sige. Ang sakit sa ulo isipin. Ang sakit sa ulo i-record.
When you remember, just go ahead and tweet it and then, tag us. And
I will.
we'll explore
Pero-
that. There.
Pero may psych naman eh. There's a psych concept about that. Now, we have multiple cells with multiple people, with multiple surroundings. It depends on who are we surrounded with. Like V,
Yeah.
for instance, would be a different V when she's with a sister. V would be different
Yeah.
with with his best friend, and V would be different
Yeah.
with Dong.
Right.
Kasi-
You adapt to your society eh. We adapt to our
Yeah.
society.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's like, kasi that's who we are. We are multifaceted people, not just one-dimensional characters.
Mm-mm.
Yun lang.
Right. And, to add to
Ayun,
that,
naalala
diba?
ko na.
Ayun,
Oh.
na-trigger na.
Ayun.
Yes.
Yung parang ano lang, kasi di ba, hindi, I was kasi di ba, we were saying na interesado tayo kung bakit si Alora, ganun yung thinking niya na gusto siya ni V while wala na iba yung thinking natin. Kumbaga, Cheat is a series that made us interested not only in the couple involved in the series, but it made us all interested sa story nung bawat isang characters na pinapakilala nila. Because
Mhm.
I've heard a lot of series kasi na they are banking and they are bannering na our series is different because ganito ganyan. There are other stories involved. Well, in fact, natapos na yung isang buong series. Wala naman nangyaring development dun sa ibang characters, sa mga side characters. Well, in
Yes.
fact, in this series, we are very much intrigued kasi lahat sila nabigyan ng sarili nilang spotlight. Lahat sila may possible na motibo, di ba? Lahat sila may
Mhm.
ginagawa to make the characters move forward. They are all plot
Yes.
devices which are very effective in a sense. Kaya
Mhm.
lahat tayo, hook na hook. Hindi tayo na-hook dahil BL siya. Na-hook tayo kasi may context yung bawat character. May context yung
Mhm.
series mismo.
Right.
So, kaya siya
Yeah.
kaya siya interesting. Kaya siya super interesting. So,
And
yun pala yung sabihin ko.
hindi naman gusto na
Yeah.
mangyari ni Direct, 'di ba? Sinasabi niyo sa in your interview
Exactly.
din. Na I just don't want it to
Exactly.
parang I just don't want it to become a BL. I want it to become bigger
Yes.
than a BL. Parang ganun
Hindi
yung
niya gustong
nakuha kong connotation.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
he
yeah.
doesn't want to box it lang as a boys love genre, but he wants to go beyond that. Diba? So that's
Siguro,
husay.
yeah, I guess I'm still waiting for Alan's character development.
I
Kasi
know, me too.
so far we've only
True.
seen him as the PlayStation buddy, but
The
more
gaming buddy,
than
the
The
wine
that,
PlayStation
buddy.
guy.
correct. Oh, by the way, let's talk about that too. Diba? Parang, obviously, AMC is a sponsor, so I mean they were featured in the series. Yeah, so hindi naman siya parang cringy or anything like that. Parang okay naman yung pagka-insert doon. So kudos rin to that. And hopefully, parang you get more sponsors so that you can do more
Yeah.
of the same kind of series, and hopefully it will help you fund the next season.
Seasons
I
and
think
the
there will be a
spin-off.
next season
Spin-off.
and a spin-off.
Yes.
So yeah,
The seasons and the spin-off. Please.
yeah. So yun lang. Siguro
True.
I'm still waiting for Alan's character development. Hopefully we'll see that in the next episode. Kasi
Yeah.
upgrade na tayo pero wala pa rin siyang nagagawa.
May ginagawa naman siya, naglalaro lang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Umiinom ng wine.
Correct.
EO, we're
Diba?
ready for you. Come to us.
Yo,
Come to us.
Yeah. Come to us. Ala, parang iba
Pun
yung dating ng
intended.
boy. Did you say pun or fun intended? Anyways,
Both. Double
Yes.
pun intended.
Duality. Duality.
yes. Dua Lipa for me. Anyways,
Yeah.
so we're looking forward to more brain activity in the next episode.
True. Looking forward.
But for now, I think I've said everything that I wanted to say, and I actually said some things that I didn't know I was gonna say. But yes, what about you guys? Any other things that you want to say before we sort of like wrap this up?
Towards the cheap
Um,
series, wala naman.
Yeah. Okay. Boy.
Towards cheat wala na naman. They're doing a good job, and I know that they will deliver at the end of the day. And again, before you end this, guys, thank you very much, Mikey, Lance,
Hey,
Nico, for
thank
inviting me.
you.
Thank you to the whole Bruaha squad. It's a pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be in the YouTube live. Sabi ko nga,
And to
it's nerve-wracking. And I'm
brain cells.
still nervous and I'm still shaking up to this point.
Really?
Don't
But
worry,
thank you
Papoy.
very
I know
much
the
for having
feeling.
me here.
I know the feeling too when I crossed over the other side.
Yeah, Kalat
Go in your
hours.
shoes.
And
Yung
since
kalat
we have-
hours, my God.
Since we have all crossed over, hopefully in the random sesh we could have you too.
Oh,
Soonest.
sure.
in one of our
sure.
sessions.
Go.
Just let us
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
Siyempre, pag available kami, go. Yeah. We also want to experience it.
So thank you.
Actually. And thank you
Yeah,
for
let's
accepting the invitation.
cross over to the podcast world. Let's cross over there.
Yes.
At least walang mukha, no? So I don't have to be
True.
too conscious about my hair and stuff. Yes, thank you again for being here. And to everyone in the chat, thank you as well for providing us with your inputs and also with your staggering theories and assumptions. Salamat. Yung talagang pinag-workout niyo yung brain cells namin today.
True.
And actually, I really enjoy it. I mean, I might be exhausted right now, but obviously, we keep doing this precisely for this kind of thing. Diba? Parang we want to be able to think, and we want to be able to get your inputs, your perspectives, and to learn from you to expand our horizons and to expand our perspectives as well. So thank you very much for sharing. And we'd also like to say thank you for supporting us and thank you for following us If you're new, you can go ahead and follow us on our social media accounts. Of course, we're available. Available. We're on
Twitter,
Facebook,
YouTube,
Instagram,
Facebook.
Twitter, YouTube, right? So it's Brouhaha B Squad. And for Poi, you can go ahead and follow him on social media as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead and shout out your social media, Poi.
It's I am Popoy de la Cruz in Twitter and in IG. And of course, please do follow us on Twitter, the Random Sesh, at the Random Sesh. And our podcast is also out in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Same
Yes.
handle, the Random Sesh. So thank you everyone. Thank you guys.
Yes,
Thank
thank you very
you.
much.
Yeah.
So,
Before
yes,
we leave, I think it's right there in the banner. So
great.
since we see the love between Camp Avenue Studios and Cheat the Series too, especially on
Yes,
Twitter,
Avenue Studios. We love you.
so we're sending some love as well to those who follow the influencers. So we put the wheel
Yeah.
of luck and magic to test for those who retweeted and use the hashtag BBSX influencers. So far, based on my wheel of fortune, the winners are.
Wheel of Fortune. Drum roll.
Drum roll, please. The first lucky winner is our very own tarot card reader, Mamiao.
Wow, congratulations, Meow. Woot woot.
Congratulations. Yes.
Yes.
Say yes.
Woot
if you
woot.
accept.
Congrats.
Congrats, Mamiao.
Congrats.
And the second
So,
winner is
before
actually
you announce
yeah.
that, before you announce that.
Yeah.
So just as a reminder, the pass is for the last 4 episodes of Influencers the series. So it includes, of course, access to the advanced screening, which is a director's cut. Secondly, that version will have a behind the scenes, so you get to see what happens, on the set, and also you will have access to the tea party with a discussion with the director and the cast as well. So, our
Hope to
second
see
winner
you there
is
soon, Mamiao. And the second winner is he's been famous for his tweets, so I'm gonna expect him to be in the tea party soon. His name is Kiko Tomato.
Wow,
Yes!
Kiko. We'll be
Yes,
seeing you
Kiko.
there.
Kiko's not here.
Kiko's not here. Okay, we
Where's
announced that.
Congratulations! Woo, 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 woo! Thank you. And
I'm excited for
course,
Kiko.
yes, I want to see him on the tea party. In the tea
Oh,
party.
I'd love to see him at the tea party.
I would love to see him in the tea party.
Yeah.
And this would not have been possible without our generous sponsor. His name is Mike. He is based in the US. So Mike S at Slaytino69, if I'm correct. So thank you very much, Mike, for those 2 free passes. And Mamiao and Kiko, please send us your email address because that will be required for you to get your free passes.
Yes.
Congratulations again. Round of applause. Tahanan, please congratulate them. Okay, Lance, what is this that we're seeing on the screen?
Yeah, we're gonna have an event since we're starting to give. We even started to give already, so we're gonna be having another give. BBS gives back, and we have some surprises for you that'll happen on December 18 on Friday at 9 p.m. Philippine time. So better watch out, better not cry. We're gonna give smiles on that special day.
Oh my god. I can already feel myself or imagine myself cringing by watching past videos of me talking.
Yeah, because we're
Oh my
gonna go. It's like we're gonna be visited by the 3 ghosts of Christmas. We're gonna go to the Christmas ghosts of past, wherein we'll be seeing all the past reviews done,
Oh my god.
and we'll presently be there. And the future is we're gonna give some prizes to the people who are
Yes.
on the chats. So
We're gonna have a lot of stuff for you guys, so please go ahead and watch out for that. It's gonna be exciting.
True. Support them, guys.
thank you.
Oh, before I forget, thank you, Alora, VR, Derek Vaughn, UTV, for being here. We hope that you had fun seeing us go crazy with our ideas. And I really, really appreciate your support. And of course, we support you as well. Love, 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 love from BBS. Is there anything else that we want to promote?
Yeah,
Are we missing anything?
wala naman. Just watch The Boy Foretold by the Stars. Don't forget to watch
Yes.
that. For those abroad, it will open on December 18. For the Philippines, you can book your advance tickets now. It will happen on December 25. So please support our good friends Adrian and Kian.
And yes.
And for
ahead and
the
go
others
to
too,
Twitter.
you can go check their Twitter. And there's also Upstream PH, so you can check that out too. And don't forget to support our other good friends, Kaloy and Genesis, and Meet Me
Meet Me
Outside on the
Outside.
Blue app. Hopefully they upload that also on YouTube. Hopefully, please.
Hopefully, that's actually what I'm hoping for. But in case it doesn't happen, I will go ahead and download the Blue app so that we can view the episodes as and when they come out.
Yeah.
So guys, let's support Pinoy BLs. Let's support each other and make sure spread love, kindness, and make sure that love wins this Christmas.
Yes.
And that's it.
Agree.
Close us out, friends.
Again, don't forget to follow and subscribe us on our social media
Thank you,
platforms. It's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. It's Bruja B Squad at Bruja B Squad. So above me is Mike. Above me again is Popoy, our special guest from the Random Sesh. Do follow their handles too. And I am
Thank you,
Lance,
guys.
and we're out and proud. Have a magical day. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Good
you.
night.
Yeah.
Yes. Thanks, Nico, in the background.
Thank you, Nico. Thanks,